and welcome to FountainFX on Tuesday the 3rd of June 2014. We are looking at the US dollar yen just for something different this week, but just to make you aware that it's non-farm payrolls week, so there's going to be a lot of news out, especially Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. We can have a quick look at a summary of that, but before we go into that, I'm looking at the US dollar yen on the 4-hour. Why am I looking here? Because there's a potential trade setup. We are looking at prices in here at the 102.40 level, which is previous area of resistance. If it breaks through this, we've got another area of resistance above. I've got a couple of sell orders in at the moment. One has been triggered, the other one hasn't. And I've got my stops above the top here. And the reason for this, well, if you look, one, it's selling at resistance, which is key rule. We can see the MACD starting to decline at this level as well, so that's positive. We're getting a lot of dojis. That's another positive thing. Shows a change in direction, change in trend. And if we look at the RSI, which I've now plotted, because Wendy wanted to know about the RSI, so I'll start sticking that on my charts. I'm not going to put anything more than this on there because I don't want to confuse you all, but we can see that that's on the overbought sector. So it's up the top. So we're looking at price being overbought, at resistance, dojis, and declining MACD. So all those points are adding up to it's a good area to be selling. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour, we've also got divergence. On the 1 hour chart, we can see the MACD is actually crossed below the zero line, so the MACD is pushing down, although it's starting to pull back just at the moment. But if we look at where price was at in terms of this area of resistance, where the red line is, we can see that the MACD was up here, and then at the next level where it comes back up, pushes back up to it again, the MACD's declined, and then it's just pushed all the way back up to near to the actual area of resistance at the top, and the MACD is below there. So we've got a descending MACD. So MACD is going down, and also on the RSI has crossed over the overbought, and then it's crossed back down below the overbought. So that's a clear trigger, an indication to sell, and that continues to push down. So that is declining. The MACD is declining. However, price is pretty much bouncing along this area of resistance. So it's showing there's divergence. So that's another key indicator to say this is a good place to be selling. So that's really it. I've got my stops above for in case it does what the market can do, which is totally confuse us and catch us out. But based on probability, this is showing a good and a strong trade setup. So therefore, that's where I'm looking to sell. So selling the US dollar yen at the 102.46 and a previous order here at the 102.40. So I'm actually just slightly below where I entered at the 102.40. Price is about 0.7 of a pip below that price. Now if we quickly flick over to the news, and quickly flicking over to the news from Wednesday onwards, if we look at today, there's not a lot actually happening in terms of what would be of interest to us. We've got the Aussie. The Aussie's coming out with a lot of information at the moment, so if you're trading that, that's key. Pound and the euro has already come out. So all of this news has already been issued. Hasn't made a massive difference on the market. So we're going to look at from Wednesday onwards. So Wednesday, the key thing on Wednesday is that we have got the US dollar non-manufacturing PMI and also the trade balance. They do come out with this ADP non-farm employment change. It seems to be like another metric for what comes out on Friday, which is the non-farm employment change, but the official figures, and this might be sort of leading up to it, but be aware of those things. So tomorrow afternoon is going to be a bit choppy in terms of trading, and then Thursday similarly we've got some more unemployment claims data coming out, minimum bid rate for the euro and so on, and they're predicting it's going to go down to 0.1%. Wow. From 0.25%, we will see that. That's going to be a key thing. That's going to be a major change. This rate has not changed for several years now. So for it to go down to 0.1% shows that the European Union is in a bit of a tough pickle at the moment for them to want to drop their rate. So we shall see what happens with that. especially. So that's a key thing. Look on Thursday at 1:45 p.m. on that, and then if we then go down to Friday, typically it's going to be 2:30 in the afternoon, non-farm employment change. They're looking at 219,000 new jobs and an unemployment rate of 6.4%. We want to see those figures look pretty much the same, but don't worry too much about what the news does. It's about how we trade it and what the opportunities are that are created from it. So that's really it from FountainFX today. Happy trading. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.